women continue to be subjected to gender-based violence. It's in the news every day and it's part of South African women's lives every day. Society and law enforcement authorities are also failing to fight the scourge. It's been over a year since the attack and rape of 8 women in Krugersdorp, but no arrests have been made. Are we doing enough to address the scourge? The answer is simply no, we're not. Gender-based violence activist Lusanda Ngwedla joins us from Johannesburg this afternoon. I do forget, Lusanda, I did ask you where you're joining us from, and I forget, you said Johannesburg or East London. I've just been reminded you are in East London. Sorry for that, Lusanda, joining us live from East London, from a province that itself has seen its own fair share of horrific gender-based violence crimes, especially amongst our young women, Lusanda, in a space that I know that you are very, very active in. We've mentioned that horrific story in Krugersdorp. As we start another Women's Month, where do you think we stand in coming to terms with the scourge and how to get rid of it?
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Well, I think that South Africa is just at the very bottom of handling things when it comes to GBV, because we have long gone past the address where it was said that the police would be more attentive to cases of GBV when they are, brought forward to them. And things still go slow when you go by the police station. And, actually, I had an experience the other day, 2 weeks back. I was on the streets. This other male guy, he was drunk. He tried to go for my friend. And in trying to stop him from harassing us, he pulled out a knife on the street during the day, full of people. And we started running away from him, but no one tried to stop him from hurting us. People were just watching, and instead they assumed that we maybe tried to rob a shop or anything. I mean, look at me, my friend as well. You don't see ladies that are being chased by a guy with a knife and keep quiet, and yet it happened. So I think as the community, as the society as well, people are very far from being able to stop GBV, because it's become something that's normal in our society.
It's become this narrative that as women, or especially young women, girls even, you're being taught from a very young age about where not to walk, how to behave, what not to do. It's all on the woman to change her behavior and not the so-called potential perpetrators.
Yeah, that's very wrong. If I can take you aback a little bit on the story of Nosikelo Mthebe, the late Nosikelo, back in 2021, we had a night vigil thing for her during that time. And then there were these church people that came on some, we as girls must not do like this, we must not dress like this, we must not, and I need to be able to go wherever I want at whatever time I want and feel safe. And people don't understand how, it's very difficult to be a woman in South Africa. You cannot be at certain places at certain times. Even if I'm on an Uber ride at any time, I am expecting that the driver will stop and try to harm me. That's something that I'm just thinking. Even if I'm walking on the street, I am afraid of males, I am expecting the worst of them, and that's how I'm able to keep safe. And that's not the way it should be. I shouldn't be blamed for someone else's bad behavior.
The things that you're mentioning now are things that I hear all the time from friends. Just yesterday, there's this transport crisis down in Cape Town, and somebody on social media was saying, somebody had messaged her to say, why didn't you just get out of your car, leave your car there, get out of your car and walk the 200 meters or the kilometer home? And she replied and she said, excuse me, did you forget I'm a South African woman? There's no way, especially after dark, I'm going to walk let alone 200 meters, let alone a kilometer. Then there's talk, you hear somebody say, oh, I was standing in a line at a Pick and Pay or a Woolworths or wherever, and this person was so intimidating towards me as a man, and I didn't feel safe. There are no places that you can feel safe. Are we, however, having too many of these conversations with other women, and that becomes an echo chamber? Are we having enough of those conversations with and in front of men?
No, we are not. Just this afternoon, I was having a conversation with a male friend of mine, and I was saying to him, we say all these things to males, you know, that think of how you would feel if this was done to your sister or your child or your wife. How would you feel? But men, you know, they go beyond that. And I feel like the justice system of South Africa now needs to come and take a stand and do something about males that harm women, that are the perpetrators, that are the cause of GBV, so that even the next guy can learn that you are not supposed to do this. If you do this, this is where you end up. And it needs to be strict and strong, because we need to start feeling safe, honestly, because this is no way to live. The way that South African women are living right now, in fear of men, that anything can happen to you at any time, even in your safe space, you know, because we get abused even by our partners at home. We get abused even by our family members. So even if you're safe from the street, it can still happen to you when you're at home. So the justice system needs to be strong and protect us as women of South Africa.
Indeed, a conversation we sadly will continue to have. I'm going to leave it right there. That is a gender-based violence activist, Lusanda Ngwedla, joining us live from East London. I remember actually speaking to her at that time during that vigil after another murder of a South African student, a South African woman, going about her business as a student whose life was taken rather violently. One of far too many.